morning, dear students. So today let's continue with the explanation of the chapter sound. So in the last class, if you remember, we had studied about different musical instruments. You had studied how you can make your own jal tarang. I hope you have tried it out at home. Those who haven't, please try out and see. Then you have also studied how sound is produced from a sitar, how sound is produced from a mridangam and different other musical instruments. So now let's continue with the explanation. So now activities 13.6, 7, 8 and 9, they are not required for your exam. Okay, but if you want, you can go through the activities given in your textbooks. You will understand them quite well. Okay, but I am trying to make the chapter a little shorter, so these activities I am not including in your exams. Okay, so the vocal cords in men, so there is a note, just check this out. They are 20 millimeter long. In women, these are 5 millimeter shorter. So in men, as you can see, the vocal cords, they are quite long, but in women they are quite shorter. Okay, children have very short, so children, the vocal cords are even shorter. Okay, so this is the reason why the voices of men, women and children are quite different. Okay, so the voices of men are quite different, the voices of women are different, and when you look at hear the voices of children, they are also quite different. So why they are different? Because of the length of the vocal cords. Okay, the length of the vocal cords are quite different. So that is why the voices in men, women and children are also different. Now this is very, very important. Sound needs a medium for propagation. That means for sound to travel, there has to be a medium. Okay, the sound, it will travel through something. Without anything, the sound cannot travel. So you will understand this. Let's go through this. When you call up your friend who is standing at a distance, your friend is able to hear your voice. How does the sound travel to her? Okay, now suppose you are standing here and your friend is standing at a distance. So when you call out your friend can hear you, right? So how is it possible that your friend can hear you? Okay, sound needs a medium to travel. When air has been removed completely from a vessel, it is said there is vacuum in the vessel. The sound cannot travel through vacuum. Okay, so now sound always needs a medium. That means sound, it needs something to travel. Suppose you have a vessel, you have taken the air out of the vessel. Now you know one thing, I have already told you earlier also. Suppose you have an empty bottle. Okay, there is nothing inside. Is it correct? No. Why? Because in the bottle, water is not there, but air is there. Air is present everywhere. Okay, because you cannot see air, you can feel it. That is why you must think that, you must have thinking that in the bottle there is nothing. But no, in the bottle you have air inside. Okay, so when you take out the air from the vessel or from the bottle, then it is said there is vacuum in the vessel. Okay, that means there is nothing in the vessel, they're complete empty when you take out the air. Otherwise, the bottle may look empty, but it is not, because inside there is air. Okay. Now one more important thing, the sound cannot travel through vacuum. Very, very important. Now when you call out your friend, how does the voice of yours reaches your friend? Because there is air in between. Okay. So when there is air in between, definitely it acts like a medium for propagation and the voice can reach your friend because there is air in between. Okay, if there is nothing, then it is said to be vacuum. And sound also cannot travel through vacuum because sound needs a medium to travel. Understood? Okay. Then sound can travel through liquids. This can be found out. So this is an activity actually. I have just wrote it in short, okay, so that you can understand. So this can be found out by putting your ear gently above water on a bucket filled with water and ringing a bell inside the water bucket. Now you see how the boy is doing. This is a bucket of water. He's putting his ear. Make sure the water doesn't go inside your ears. Okay, it should be near the water and a bell is ringing inside. Okay. But you have to be sure that bell does not touch the side of the bucket because the sides of the bucket, these are what? Solid, isn't it? You have to find out whether the sound is traveling through liquids. That is why make sure that this bell doesn't, strike the sides of the vessel. Okay, so suppose ring the bell in the water, put your ear in the water, then you can clearly hear the bell ringing. Okay. So what does that prove? This proves that sound can travel through liquids, isn't it? Now let us find out whether sound can travel through solids or not. Now sound can travel through solids also. How can you find out? This can be found out by placing our ear at one end of a long wooden or metallic table and asking our friend to gently scratch the other end of the table. Okay. That means here is your friend. Okay. You are putting your ear and there is, suppose this is you are putting your ear on the table and this is your friend and you are asking your friend to scratch the table. So once your friend scratches the table, can't you hear the sound? Yes, you can hear. So what does it prove? This proves that the sound can easily travel through solids also. Okay, so sound can easily travel through solids. Okay, that is why it is possible for us to hear the sound. Okay. Okay. So now let's move on to the next topic, that is we can hear sound through our ears. Okay. So the shape of the outer part of the ear is like a funnel. Okay. So when you look at your ear, what is the shape of your external ear? That means the outer ear which you can see. It is like a funnel, isn't it? It is broad and then you have a hole and through the hole the passage becomes narrow, isn't it? So it is like a funnel. It is broad in the outside, but when you look through the hole, it narrows down. Okay. So when sound enters in it, travels down a canal at the end of a thin at the end of which is a thin membrane stretched tightly. This is called the eardrum. Okay. So your sound will go or pass through the tunnel. Okay, the passage in the ear which continues through the hole. Okay. So at the end of the passage there is a very thin membrane. Membrane means you can say very thin skin. Okay. So this skin is stretched tightly and this is called the eardrum. Okay, so there is a skin like thing which is stretched very very tight and that is called the eardrum. Now eardrum performs a very important function. To understand what the eardrum does, let us build a tin can model of the eardrum. So you have an activity here. Activity 13.10. No need to write in copy, just understand. Okay. So take a tin can, cut its ends, stretch a piece of rubber balloon across one end of the can and fasten it with a rubber band. So tin can, you can take those Coca-Cola cans or any tin can, whatever, Coke, those cans are there, no? Mountain Dew, you have those cans. So that also you can take, and what you need to do is you need to cut both the ends. That means it has to be, from the back it has to be hollow, from the front also it has to be open. Okay. You need to stretch a piece of rubber balloon across one end of the can. So you have cut the end of both the ends of the can you have cut. So in one end of the can, what you do, you take a piece of rubber balloon and you stretch it and you tie it with the rubber band. Okay. Put 4 or 5 grains of dry cereal on the stretched rubber. So on the balloon, what you put some grains, okay, of dry cereal. That means it can be rice grains, it can be dal grains, any grains you just put. Now ask your friend to speak from the open end. So one end is open and one end you have tied the rubber band. So the end which is open, through that your friend will speak. Observe what happens to the grain. Why do the grains jump up and down? So you will see surprisingly that the grains will jump up and down. Okay, when your friend speaks through the end. So this is how you make. Understood now? So this is the can. Here you put the rubber balloon. Okay, this you cut. This end also you cut. On one end you put the rubber balloon and here you put the grains. So when your friend will speak through the open end, these grains will jump up and down. Okay. Why? Because when the sound will travel through the canal, this is suppose the eardrum. So the eardrum will vibrate. Okay. When it will vibrate, the grains will move up and down. So the movement of the grains means what? The balloon is vibrating or your eardrum is vibrating. So this is the plastic can eardrum. So this you imagine, this is the eardrum. This is the ear opening. Sound is traveling through the opening, the ear opening. So when sound is traveling, this sound is going to strike the eardrum. So once the sound strikes the eardrum will vibrate. So when the eardrum will vibrate, it will move, isn't it? So when it will move, the grains will jump up and down. So why do you put the grains? So that you will see whether the eardrum is moving or not. Otherwise, how will you come to know whether the balloon is moving or not? Okay, so the grains will act as a proof that the eardrum is moving. So we'll continue with the explanation in the next video. Thank you.